Welcome, everyone. Do you know that your gut sends more signals to your brain than your brain does down to your gut? I'm Elizabeth Dyer, the host of the Supplementarian, and I have with me today my friend and coworker, Jayne Rizner. And today we're going to dive into gut health, because if your gut doesn't feel its best, you don't feel your best. Jayne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So when we think about gut health, most of the time we're just thinking about our gut, but gut health really begins in our mind. We think about food before we eat the food, and we have to actually have a desire to eat and a desire for a particular food. And so our gut health really starts here in how we think about food in the long run. So Jayne, do you have like a healthy list and an unhealthy list, or a naughty and nice list in your mind?
For foods?
For food.
Well, I think I just have foods that I prefer to eat and foods I don't prefer to eat. But it's based on nutrition and what I think it does in your body, or what I think it does in my body. But, sort of in a way I do.
So, and that's a good point. A lot of us have a list of foods and we think, I will eat this and I won't eat this. And many times that's based off just our taste buds and how we think about or how much we like the taste of a particular food. But in reality, how food works for us depends a lot more on how our body reacts to it than how our taste buds react to it. I, for one, could eat avocado every day. Like, it's loaded with all kinds of great nutrition. If you go on the Mediterranean diet or any other keto diet and many others, avocado is one of the first things recommended, and it's in tons of recipes out there. Avocado oil, whole avocado, guacamole, you name it, it's on there. But for me, it's on the naughty list because it's a food allergy for me. My body does not respond well to avocado. So our naughty and nice list should always be personalized. And it should be personalized on the long-term effects of the food in our body, not just the immediate gratification for our taste buds. Because, let's face it, who couldn't eat ice cream like every single day? But eating ice cream every single day is not going to serve your body well. It's not going to give it every single nutrition it needs, and it's definitely going to have more sugar. Even if you get no sugar added, you're still going to get more carbs and things than what your body would need every single day. So when we think about food, it shouldn't just be healthy and unhealthy, or it shouldn't be just like what I like to eat and what I don't like to eat. It should be a more long-term effect, because let's face it, when we eat food, it doesn't just affect us immediately when we eat it. It doesn't just affect us a few hours later as we're digesting it. It can affect us weeks later, because our body is breaking it down, and those small microscopic particles are still traveling through our body and being utilized by our cells for a long time period. And if our body doesn't have what it needs for energy or for repair, then we're not our healthiest. So let's talk a little bit, Jayne. I'm going to let you break down how the process of digestion works. We talked about gut health starting with the mind, but then when we're actually eating, let's talk about digestion and how it works in the body.
Okay. Well, it starts with the first bite. As you start to chew, the enzymes are excreted through your saliva into the food then, and that begins the breakdown process. And so if you chew your food, that's why they tell you to chew your food so many times. I think really recommended is like 40 times. But if you could get it even 20 times, I feel like my food's about gone if I try to chew it 40 times. And then swallow. It has to go down your esophagus, which also needs to be healthy, and into your stomach. Your stomach, of course, has the stomach acids, and there's a really delicate pH balance that stomach has to maintain in order to properly break down your food. Then it's sent from the stomach, it goes into the small intestine. From the small intestines, your water and electrolytes get absorbed, most of them from the small intestine. And from the small intestine, it goes into the large intestine. And from the large intestine, more water is absorbed along with the other nutrients that your body needs. So that's digestion, and the waste material, moves on out.
Yes, and we want everything to move at a steady rate. If things are moving at a steady rate, we're going to feel better. As I've described it before, you don't want your gut to be a parking lot, and you don't want it to be a racetrack. You want it to just be a regular highway. Everything's moving along at a nice, steady pace. And if you find that there is any break in the digestion, something is going to affect more and more, and it's going to affect your total health. And the wonderful thing is we have lots of different things to assist to make sure that this keeps working properly all the time. So as she mentioned, you got enzymes starting in your mouth as you're chewing. Well, if your body isn't making enough enzymes, that means your pancreas that makes most of your enzymes isn't functioning optimally. And so perhaps it's not making the enzyme it needs to break down milk, and it's making you lactose intolerant. Well, there is certain enzymes you can take to aid your body along and help get things working better. And then when it hits your gut, it's looking for those good bacteria to help keep things moving along. And we don't know how everything works. It's amazing how they work, and yet scientifically we don't understand it all, but we do know it creates this almost like a mucus type membrane that helps things move along. And so if you've been on certain medications, especially like antibiotics and things like that, your gut flora can be a mess. And if your gut flora is a mess, everything about you is a mess. So we have probiotics, and we will get into another episode where we go in detail on how many different strains you need and why, and how it affects so much more than just your digestive health. It affects your sinus cavity, it affects your urinary tract, it affects your liver. So all those different probiotics are good for that, and we'll go in detail in that in the future episode. Then we also have things like if you've got acid reflux. If you're having acid reflux every day, it's an issue, but if you have acid reflux occasionally, we've got things to help soothe that. Or if you've got an upset stomach, we've got things like peppermint and ginger, and those are great to ease those off. Or if you have occasional constipation, I recommend aloe. Taking some aloe can help get things moving in the right direction. And then we have things for cleanses. If you've had a long-term issue, you need a cleanse. We also have those, and we talked about that in a previous episode, the difference between a cleanse and a detox. So if you do need a colon cleanse, you need everything out to evacuate, you have had serious issues, a cleanse is a great thing to do, and some people like to do those periodically. Anyway, just once or twice a year to make sure everything's functioning optimally. But in the end, we want your gut to be the healthiest, best functioning it can be, so that you feel your best every single day. So regardless of what kind of issue you're having, you can come by S&S Smoothies and Supplements, and we can find the products you need to have optimal health. So Jayne, anything else you want to mention there?
I don't think so. I think that covers it. I think that's the main points, yeah.
Now, I did mention, I know my food allergies. Perhaps you've had some issues and you don't know if you have food allergies, or if you do, what you're allergic to. And some people recommend going on a super bland diet and then introducing things one at a time periodically. That can take a long time. If you do want an allergy test, we do offer a variety of them here. Now, insurance doesn't cover the ones we carry, but we are affiliated with a doctor here, and we can get you the allergy test you need so that you can know if there's a particular food that's causing an inflammatory response in your body that's creating this, because then that's the food you need to avoid. And like I said, I've learned I have to avoid avocado, but I also have to avoid turkey. Not many people are allergic to turkey. Turkey was one of my favorite meats, and yet I have a very severe allergy to turkey, so I haven't had turkey in years. I used to think I just had this feeling after I ate turkey because everybody had that feeling because of the tryptophan in it. Turns out no. Mine was actually slowing my digestion down and slowing my entire body down, making me beyond just that tired into a super sluggish feeling that lasted a prolonged period of time because of my inflammatory response to turkey. So some of these will not make sense when you find out, because I never thought that turkey was an allergy. But lo and behold, it was for me. And now that I've avoided it, I can feel better and my digestion works better. So again, it's all about finding the right information, because your body's going to be different than my body, than Jayne's body, than everybody else's body. And as I've learned the hard way, you can have lots of different allergies in your household, which can make cooking and planning meals really fun. Like in my house, we have 20 different full-blown food allergies, so it's a challenge. Everybody typically eats something different for dinner so that they can eat what feels good for them and gives them the energy they need and not the inflammatory response from allergies. So again, we're here to help you figure out what will work for you and those in your family. So come by Merchants Walk and see us, and we'll help you feel your best.